I'm standing in a school or a submarine. Everything is gray and the walls can almost kiss each other. Children avalanche around my legs, flowing into one another, their faces erased by the sheer numbers. It is too dark here. And my job these days is to turn all the lights on and pretend to be brave. We smell like unused paintbrushes. The air is still, hanging just over this river or this sewer pipe full of hands and shoes and teeth. I see a teacher in a window, a smiley face painted onto a crash test dummy. I forget where I'm going. These children will grow up to be scarecrows. These children will snarl once at the world and they'll be put down. These children will grow into the poems written about them, live in the space between the letters and shiver when the books open. And my job these days is to melt the winter with a flashlight. I work an after-school program purgatory, moving from school to school, siphoning tears and collecting poems. I keep the poems in a shiny leather briefcase. I dump the tears out in the parking lot. And my job these days is to identify bodies. My job these days is to be the Disney World full-body suit Sisyphus. My job these days is to dream of starfish. Tens of thousands smothered by the air on the beach, being pulled apart alive by the seagulls. I toss a few back into the ocean and people want to tell me that I'm making a difference. But there is no honor in triage, only necessity. And these children need something more than another plucky white woman to pry them open and extract their genius. Or one more straight-A Teach for America mirage trying to save them. Or one more positive male role model teaching them how to write poetry. And my job these days is to be one more positive male role model teaching them how to write poetry, and it's killing me. A teacher once told me that this is the curse of direct service. We make a difference, just not enough of one. We are the bricks in a haunted house, doing an admirable job keeping the ceiling from collapsing, but not able to remove the evil from the air. And my job these days is to be a hack exorcist. My job these days is to be a superhero in a coma, a strip mall Santa Claus. My job these days is to blindly feel my way through the jagged corners of these schools and not bleed too much. And suddenly I remember where I'm going. The guidance counselor was concerned that one of my students might be unstable because she wrote a poem about death. Not knowing that death and suffering are pretty much all 13-year-olds write about. But anyways, on my way to the office, an impossibly small boy from one of my sessions cannonballs through the crowd, punches me in the shoulder and says, "Thank you." His name is Brian. He says thank you and means it, and I'm stuck somewhere between you're welcome and I'm sorry. I'm stuck staring at banners. Attitude is everything. No child left behind. I love my school. I'm stuck. And my job these days is not to make a difference. It is to fight with everything I have for a world in which I don't have to. My job these days is to try and find a way to be both brick and builder, to teach starfish to fly.